You're sitting there, aren't you? Waiting for someone to text you back, checking your phone every few minutes, hoping, wishing, maybe even praying that they'll reach out. But let me tell you something. That's no way to live. No begging, no chasing, no texting, no games. That's the secret to true success and fulfillment in life. Now, you might be thinking, but how can I get ahead if I'm not constantly pursuing what I want? Well, my friend, that's exactly what we're going to explore today. We're going to dive deep into the philosophy of self-respect, personal power, and authentic living. Let's start with begging. Begging is beneath you. It's a sign of desperation, and desperation repels success like oil repels water. When you beg, you're telling the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you don't believe you're worthy of what you desire. You're putting yourself in a position of weakness, and in this world, weakness is rarely rewarded. Instead of begging, cultivate value within yourself. Become the kind of person who doesn't need to beg because what you offer is so valuable that others naturally want to be a part of your world. This applies to relationships, business, and every other aspect of life. When you focus on personal growth and developing your talents, you create a magnetic force that draws opportunities to you. Now let's talk about chasing. Chasing is exhausting, isn't it? Always running after something or someone, always feeling like you're one step behind. It's a game you can never win because the finish line keeps moving. The moment you catch what you've been chasing, you realize it wasn't what you truly wanted, and off you go again chasing the next thing. Here's the stress isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. When you stop chasing and start building your character, your skills, your knowledge, you'll find that the things you once chased begin to chase you. Opportunities will knock on your door, people will seek you out, success will be drawn to you like a moth to a flame. But this doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, discipline, and consistent effort. You need to be willing to delay gratification, to put in the work day after day, even when you don't see immediate results. This is where most people falter. They want instant success, instant relationships, instant wealth, but life doesn't work that way. The most valuable things in life take time to cultivate. Think about a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't dig them up every day to see if they're growing. He trusts the process. He knows that with proper care and time, those seeds will sprout and grow into a bountiful harvest. Your life is no different. Plant the seeds of success through continuous self-improvement and trust that they will bear fruit in due time. Now, let's address the texting issue. In today's world, we're constantly connected, always available. But being always available makes you common, ordinary. There's no mystery, no intrigue. When you're constantly texting, constantly seeking validation through digital means, you're giving away your power. Remember, this scarcity creates value. When you're not always available, when you're not always responding immediately, you become more valuable. People begin to appreciate your time and attention more. They realize that when they do have your attention, it's something special. This doesn't mean you should ignore people or play mind games. It means you should have a life that's so engaging, so fulfilling, that you're not glued to your phone waiting for the next message. It means you should be so invested in your personal growth and pursuits that texting becomes a small part of your day, not the center of it. And speaking of games, let's talk about the games people play in relationships and in business. These games are for amateurs. They're for people who don't have the confidence to be straightforward, who don't have the self-respect to be honest about their intentions and desires. When you play games, you might win in the short term, but you lose in the long run. You lose authenticity, you lose trust, you lose the opportunity for genuine connections and real success. Instead of playing games, be direct, be honest, be authentic. It might be scary at first, but it's liberating. When you stop playing games, you start living on a higher level. Now I want you to imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you embraced this philosophy. No begging, no chasing, no texting, no games. Picture yourself waking up each morning with a sense of purpose, knowing that you're building something meaningful. Imagine the confidence you'd exude when you walk into a room, knowing that you don't need to beg or chase anyone or anything. This confidence, this self-assurance, it's magnetic, it draws people to you, it opens doors, it creates opportunities, but it all starts with you. It starts with your decision to value yourself, to respect your time and energy, to commit to personal growth and excellence. But let me be clear, this isn't about becoming arrogant or aloof. It's about developing a quiet confidence, an inner strength that doesn't need to be constantly validated by others. It's about knowing your worth and living in alignment with your values. This philosophy applies to every area of your life. In your career, it means focusing on becoming so good at what you do that opportunities come to you. Instead of begging for promotions or chasing job openings, you become the kind of employee or entrepreneur that companies or clients seek out. In your relationships, it means being complete within yourself. You don't enter relationships out of neediness or desperation. You come from a place of wholeness, looking for someone to share your life with, not someone to complete you. In your personal development, it means setting high standards for yourself and consistently working to meet them. It means reading books, attending seminars, seeking out mentors, not because you're chasing success, but because you're committed to becoming the best version of yourself. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if I miss out on opportunities by not chasing them? Let me tell you something. The best opportunities in life are not the ones you have to chase down. They're the ones that come to you because you've prepared yourself, because you've become the kind of person who attracts those opportunities. Think about it this way. When you're constantly chasing, you're operating from a place of scarcity. You believe that if you don't chase, you'll miss out. But when you focus on personal growth and excellence, you operate from a place of abundance. You know that there are plenty of opportunities out there, and the right ones will find you. This shift in mindset is crucial. It's the difference between living reactively, always responding to what life throws at you, and living proactively, shaping your life according to your vision and values. But let's be honest, this isn't easy. It's not easy to stop begging when you really want something. It's not easy to stop chasing when you've been conditioned to believe that's how you achieve success. It's not easy to put down your phone and resist the urge to text. It's not easy to stop playing games when it seems like everyone else is playing them. But you know what? The things worth doing in life are rarely easy. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is challenging. But on the other side of that discomfort, on the other side of that challenge, is a life of true fulfillment and success. So how do you start? How do you begin to implement this philosophy in your life? It starts with self-awareness. Begin to notice when you're tempted to beg, to chase, to constantly text, to play games. Catch yourself in those moments and ask, is this aligned with who I want to be? Is this the action of someone who values themselves? Then start small. Maybe you decide not to text someone back immediately. Maybe you choose not to chase after a job opportunity that doesn't align with your values. Maybe you resist the urge to beg for attention or validation from others. Each small action builds your self-respect and personal power. Next, focus on personal development. Invest in yourself. Read books that challenge your thinking, learn new skills, set goals, and work consistently towards them. Remember, the goal isn't to become perfect. The goal is to become better, to grow, to evolve. As you do this, you'll notice something interesting. The world around you will begin to change. People will respond to you differently. Opportunities will present themselves in unexpected ways. You'll find yourself attracting the very things you used to chase. But here's the key. You can't do this for the external rewards. You can't say, I'll stop begging and chasing so that I can get what I want. That's just another form of gameplay. You have to do this because you genuinely want to become a person of value, a person of integrity, a person who respects themselves and others. This journey of personal growth and self-respect isn't always smooth. There will be setbacks. There will be moments of doubt. There will be times when you're tempted to fall back into old patterns, but that's okay. That's part of the process. What matters is that you keep moving forward, that you keep choosing self-respect over desperation, personal growth over stagnation. As you continue on this path, you'll find that your relationships improve. When you're not begging for attention or playing games, you attract people who appreciate authenticity. You form deeper, more meaningful connections. You surround yourself with people who inspire you to grow, who challenge you to be your best self. In your career, you'll find that doors open more easily when you're not chasing every opportunity, when you're focused on becoming excellent at what you do. People notice, They seek you out. They want to work with you, to learn from you, to be associated with you. But perhaps the most significant change happens within you. You develop a sense of inner peace, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your own worth. You no longer need constant external validation because you've learned to validate yourself. You're no longer at the mercy of other people's opinions or actions because you've built a strong foundation of self-respect. This inner strength becomes your superpower. It allows you to take risks without fear of failure. It enables you to speak your truth without worrying about what others might think. It gives you the courage to pursue your dreams, even when they seem impossible. And here's something fascinating. When you embody this philosophy of no begging, no chasing, no texting, no games, you become a leader. People are drawn to your authenticity, your self-assurance, your integrity. They want to emulate you. They seek your advice. They're inspired by your example. But leadership isn't about having followers. It's about empowering others to discover their own strength, their own worth. As you continue on this journey, make it a point to lift others up. Share what you've learned. Encourage others to value themselves, to stop begging and chasing, to live with integrity. Remember, true success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. It's about the lives you touch, the positive impact you make on the world around you. So I challenge you today. Stop begging. Stop chasing. Stop constantly texting. Stop playing games. Instead, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Invest in your growth. Cultivate your talents. Live with integrity. Respect yourself and others. It won't be easy. There will be days when you question this path. There will be moments when it seems like everyone else is getting ahead by playing games while you're left behind. But don't be fooled. The path of integrity, of self-respect, of personal growth. It's the path that leads to true, lasting success and fulfillment. Imagine a life where you wake up each morning excited about the day ahead. A life where you're not constantly worried about what others think of you. A life where you're not exhausted from chasing after things or people. A life where your phone isn't controlling your emotions. A life where you're free from the games that drain your energy and cloud your judgment. That life is possible. It's within your reach. But it requires a decision. Your decision. Will you continue down the path of begging, chasing, constant texting, and game playing? Or will you choose the path of self-respect, personal growth, and authentic living? The choice is yours. And it's a choice you make not just once, but every day, in every interaction, in every decision. Choose wisely. Choose with courage. Choose in a way that your future self will thank you for. Remember, you are worthy of respect, starting with your own. You are capable of achieving great things without compromising your integrity. You are strong enough to resist the urge to beg or chase after what you want. You are valuable enough to attract opportunities and relationships without playing games. As you leave here today, I want you to make a commitment to yourself. A commitment to value yourself more highly. A commitment to invest in your personal growth. A commitment to live with integrity even when it's difficult. A commitment to be patient, knowing that true success takes time. And as you make this commitment, I want you to remember, the world doesn't determine your worth. You do. Your value isn't based on how many text messages you receive, how many people chase after you, or how well you play the games of life. Your value comes from within. It comes from your character, your actions, your integrity. So go forth with confidence. Stand tall in your self-respect. Be patient in your journey of personal growth. Be authentic in your interactions with others. And watch as the world responds to the new you. The you who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't constantly seek validation, doesn't play games. This is your time. This is your life. Make it extraordinary, not by begging or chasing after extraordinariness, but by becoming an extraordinary person, a person of value, of integrity, of strength, the kind of person who attracts success naturally, who doesn't need to beg or chase or play games to get ahead. Remember, life is not about finding yourself. It's about creating yourself. So create a self you can be proud of. Create a life that inspires others. Create a legacy of integrity and personal excellence. The journey starts now. It starts with your next decision. Will you text that person again, hoping for a response? Or will you invest that time in personal growth? Will you chase after that opportunity that doesn't align with your values? Or will you trust that the right opportunities will come as you focus on becoming your best self? Will you play games to get ahead? Or will you choose the path of authenticity and integrity? The choice is yours, and I believe in you. I believe that you have the strength to make the right choice. I believe that you have the courage to walk this path of self-respect and personal growth. I believe that you have what it takes to create a life of true success and fulfillment, without begging, without chasing, without constant texting, without playing games. So go out there and prove me right. Show the world what you're capable of. But more importantly, show yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's what truly matters. Your relationship with yourself, your own self-respect, your own integrity. That's the foundation of a truly successful and fulfilling life. No begging, no chasing, no texting, no games. Just you becoming the best version of yourself, day by day, decision by decision. That's the path to true success. That's the path to a life well lived. And that path is open to you right here, right now. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step today. Choose self-respect over desperation. Choose personal growth over stagnation. Choose authenticity over game playing. Choose to become the kind of person who doesn't need to beg or chase, because opportunities and relationships naturally come to you. As you seek out kindred spirits on this journey, remember that your interactions with them are opportunities for growth and mutual support. These connections aren't about finding people to commiserate with over life challenges, but about forging alliances that propel you forward on your path of personal development. When you encounter others who are committed to living without begging, chasing, excessive texting, or game playing, take the time to truly listen to their stories. Each person's journey is unique, and there's wisdom to be gained from every experience shared. Perhaps someone has found an innovative way to resist the urge to chase after opportunities that don't align with their values. Their strategy might be the key you've been looking for in your own life. Consider creating or joining a mastermind group dedicated to this philosophy of self-respect and authentic living. In such a group, you can openly discuss your challenges, celebrate your victories, and hold each other accountable. This kind of peer support can be invaluable, especially on days when the old habits try to... Remember, the goal isn't to isolate yourself from the world, but to engage with it in a more intentional, self-respecting manner. As you connect with others on this path, you'll likely find that your circle of influence grows. People will be drawn to your authenticity and the quiet confidence you exude. But be prepared. Not everyone will understand or appreciate your new approach to life. Some may even try to pull you back into old patterns of behavior. This is where your commitment to personal growth will be tested. Stand firm in your convictions, but do so with compassion. Understand that others may not be ready for this journey yet, and that's okay. As you progress, you might find yourself naturally stepping into a mentorship role. Those who are just beginning to break free from the cycle of begging and chasing may look to you for guidance. Embrace this opportunity to give back, to help others as you yourself have been helped. But remember, true mentorship isn't about creating dependence. It's about empowering others to find their own strength and chart their own course. In your professional life, this philosophy of no begging, no chasing, no excessive texting, and no games can lead to some interesting shifts. You may find that your approach to networking changes. Instead of desperately trying to make connections that could advance your career, you'll focus on building genuine relationships based on mutual respect and shared values. This doesn't mean you become passive in your career. Far from it. You'll still set goals, still work hard, still seek out opportunities, but you'll do so from a place of self-assurance rather than desperation. You'll pursue opportunities that align with your values and long-term vision rather than chasing after every possibility that presents itself. In your personal relationships, this philosophy can lead to deeper, more meaningful connections. When you're not constantly seeking validation through texts or playing emotional games, you create space for real intimacy to develop. You'll attract people who appreciate your authenticity and who are secure enough in themselves to reciprocate it. But here's a crucial point to remember. This journey isn't about becoming perfect. It's about progress, not perfection. There will be days when you slip back into old habits. There will be moments when the temptation to beg, chase, or play games feels overwhelming. When these moments come, and they will, don't berate yourself. Instead, view them as opportunities for growth and learning. Ask yourself, what triggered this urge? What need was I trying to meet through this behavior? How can I meet that need in a healthier, more self-respecting way? Each slip becomes a chance to deepen your self-awareness and strengthen your resolve. As you continue on this path, you'll likely find that your definition of success begins to shift. The external trappings of success, the fancy job title, the expensive car, the picture-perfect relationship, may start to matter. Instead, you'll find fulfillment in living in alignment with your values, in the quality of your relationships, and the impact you're able to make on others' lives. This shift in perspective can be profoundly liberating. When you're no longer chasing after an externally defined version of success, you're free to create a life that truly resonates with your authentic self. You're free to pursue passions that others might not understand. You're free to take risks that might seem foolish to those still caught in the cycle of begging and chasing. But with this freedom comes responsibility. As you liberate yourself from the need for constant external validation, you take on the responsibility of self-validation. This means setting your own standards, holding yourself accountable, and being your own biggest cheerleader. It also means being willing to face your own shortcomings and areas for growth. When you're not constantly focused on impressing others or playing games to get ahead, you have the mental and emotional space to do some real self-reflection. Use this space wisely. Be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. Celebrate your progress, but also be willing to acknowledge where you still need to grow. As you deepen your commitment to this way of living, you may find that your influence extends beyond your immediate circle. Your example of living with integrity and self-respect can have a ripple effect, inspiring others to examine their own lives and make positive changes. This is where the true power of this philosophy becomes evident. By choosing to live without begging, chasing, excessive texting, or game playing, you're not just improving your own life, you're contributing to a shift in social dynamic. You're challenging the status quo that says success comes from constantly pursuing external validation. Imagine a world where more people embrace this philosophy. A world where business deals were made based on genuine value rather than manipulative tactics. A world where relationships were built on mutual respect rather than emotional gain. A world where success was measured by personal growth and positive impact, rather than by how well one can beg, chase, or manipulate. This world is possible, and it starts with you. It starts with your daily choices, with your commitment to personal integrity, with your willingness to value yourself even when it's difficult. As you continue on this journey, remember to celebrate your progress. Take time to reflect on how far you've come. Perhaps there was a time when you would have begged for an opportunity that you now confidently create for yourself. Maybe you used to spend hours anxiously waiting for a text that you now realize isn't crucial to your happiness. Acknowledge these changes. They are testaments to your growth and strength. But also remember to be patient with yourself and with the process. True, lasting change takes time. You're not just changing behaviors. You're reshaping your entire approach to life. This kind of fundamental shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens day by day, choice by choice, moment by moment. As you move forward, consider keeping a journal of your journey. Document your challenges, your victories, your insights. This record can serve as a source of motivation when you face difficult days. It can also be a powerful tool for self-reflection, helping you identify patterns and areas for further growth. Remember, too, that this journey is not about isolating yourself from the world or becoming completely self-sufficient. We are by nature social creatures. The goal is not to never need anyone, but to approach your relationships and interactions from a place of wholeness rather than lack. You'll still ask for help when you need it. You'll still collaborate with others. You'll still engage in give and take relationships. But you'll do so from a place of self-respect and personal power, not from a place of desperation or manipulation. As you embrace this philosophy more fully, you may find that your entire worldview begins to shift. You may start to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You may find strength in situations that would have previously left you feeling powerless. You may discover a sense of peace and contentment that seemed elusive when you were constantly begging, chasing, texting, or playing games. This shift in perspective can be truly transformative. It can change not just how you interact with the world, but how you see yourself. You'll start to recognize your own inherent worth, separate from any external validation or achievement. You'll develop a deep sense of self-trust, knowing that you have the strength and wisdom to navigate life's challenges without resorting to desperate measures. This inner strength becomes your foundation, your bedrock. It's what allows you to stand firm in your convictions, even when the world seems to be pushing you to compromise. It's what gives you the courage to walk away from situations that don't serve your highest good, even when walking away is difficult. As you continue to live this philosophy, you'll likely find that your decision-making process becomes clearer and more aligned with your true self. Without the noise of constant texting, the pressure of chasing, the desperation of begging, or the confusion of game playing, you can hear your own inner wisdom more clearly. This clarity extends to your goals and aspirations as well. When you're not constantly reacting to external stimuli or seeking validation from others, you have the space to really consider what you want out of life. What are your true passions? What kind of impact do you want to make on the world? What legacy do you want to leave behind? These are big questions, and they're not always easy to answer. But by living a life of integrity and self-respect, you create the mental and emotional space to grapple with these important issues. You give yourself the gift of self-discovery and self-act. As you walk this path, you may find that your definition of success becomes more nuanced and personal. Success becomes less about what you have or what others think of you, and more about who you are as a person. Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you growing and evolving? Are you making a positive impact on the world around you? These become the true measures of success. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. When you're no longer chasing after an externally defined version of success, you're free to create a life that truly resonates with your authentic self. You're free to pursue passions that others might not understand. You're free to take risks that might seem foolish to those still caught in the cycle of begging and chasing. But remember, this freedom comes with responsibility. As you liberate yourself from the need for constant external validation, you take on the responsibility of self-validation. This means setting your own standards, holding yourself accountable, and being your own biggest cheerleader. It also means being willing to face your own shortcomings and areas for growth. When you're not constantly focused on impressing others or playing games to get ahead, you have the mental and emotional space to do some real self-reflection. Use this space wisely. Be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. Celebrate your progress, but also be willing to acknowledge where you still need to grow. As you deepen your commitment to this way of living, you may find that your relationships take on new depth and meaning. When you're not constantly seeking validation or playing games, you create space for genuine connection. You'll likely find that you attract people who appreciate your authenticity and who are secure enough in themselves to reciprocate it. This applies to all types of relationships: romantic partnerships, friendships, professional connections. In each of these areas, you'll be approaching interactions from a place of self-respect and personal power. This doesn't mean you become aloof or unapproachable. On the contrary, your authenticity and self-assurance can make you more approachable than ever. In your professional life, this philosophy can lead to some interesting shifts. You may find that your approach to career advancement changes. Instead of desperately chasing after promotions or constantly texting higher-ups for attention, you'll focus on adding genuine value to your organization. You'll pursue opportunities that align with your skills and passions, rather than begging for positions that don't truly fit you. This doesn't mean you become passive in your career. Far from it. You'll still set goals, still work hard, still seek out opportunities for growth and advancement. But you'll do so from a place of self-assurance rather than desperation. You'll pursue opportunities that align with your values and long-term vision, rather than chasing after every possibility that presents itself. As you continue to live this philosophy, you may find that your influence extends beyond your immediate circle. Your example of living with integrity and self-respect can have a ripple effect, inspiring others to examine their own lives and make positive changes. This is where the true power of this philosophy becomes evident. By choosing to live without begging, chasing excessive texting, or game playing, you're not just improving your own life. You're contributing to a shift in social dynamics. You're challenging The status quo that says success comes from constantly pursuing external validation. Imagine a world where more people embrace this philosophy. A world where business deals were made based on genuine value rather than manipulative tactics. A world where relationships were built on mutual respect rather than emotional gains. A world where success was measured by personal growth and positive impact rather than by how well one can beg, chase, or manipulate. This world is possible, and it starts with you. It starts with your daily choices, with your commitment to personal integrity, with your willingness to value yourself even when it's difficult. As you move forward on this path, remember that every choice you make is a step towards becoming the person you want to be. Every time you choose self-respect over desperation, every time you focus on personal growth instead of chasing external validation, every time you resist the urge to play games and instead act with authenticity. You're not just changing your life, you're changing the world around you. You're showing others that there's another way to live. You're proving that success and fulfillment don't come from begging, chasing, constant texting, or game playing. They come from living with integrity, from valuing yourself, from pursuing growth and making a positive impact. So keep going, keep growing, keep choosing the path of self-respect and personal power. It may not always be the easiest path, but it's the one that leads to true success and fulfillment. It's the path that allows you to become the best version of yourself and to make the greatest positive impact on the world around you. Remember, you have everything you need within you. You don't need to beg for opportunities. You can create them. You don't need to chase after success. You can attract it through your actions and your character. You don't need to constantly text for validation. You can find it within yourself. And you certainly don't need to play games. Your authenticity is far more powerful than any game could ever be. This is your life. This is your journey. And you have the power to make it extraordinary. Not by begging, not by chasing, not by texting, not by playing games, but by becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts success and fulfillment. The kind of person who lives with integrity, who values themselves, who pursues growth, and who makes a positive impact on the world. That person is within you. That life is waiting for you. All you have to do is embrace it, one choice at a time, one day at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You've already taken that step. Now keep going. The best is yet to come.